Lily, a beautiful and kind princess, had always dreamed of a life filled with love and happiness, but instead, she found herself living under the shadow of her wicked stepmother, Lady Morgana. Lady Morgana was cruel and manipulative, using her power to keep Lily away from the royal attention she deserved. Every day, Lily was reminded of how unimportant she was in the eyes of her stepmother, who worked tirelessly to secure a better future for her own daughter, Arabella. Lily had always been a hopeful and optimistic person, despite the harsh treatment she faced. While Lady Morgana demanded that she do the dirtiest tasks and kept her hidden from the royal events, Lily never lost her kindness. Her heart was pure, and even though the world around her was unfair, she dreamed of a day when things would change. She longed for a life where she could be free, loved, and appreciated for who she truly was. But every time Lily tried to show her worth, Lady Morgana would put her down, reminding her that Arabella was the one destined for greatness. It was hard for Lily to accept, but she knew that her stepmother's manipulation was a game to keep Arabella at the center of attention. Still, Lily never let it break her spirit. She carried herself with grace, even though she often felt alone and unheard. Despite the constant mistreatment, Lily held onto a quiet hope deep inside her. She believed that one day her time would come. She dreamed of being seen not just as the poor, unnoticed princess, but as someone worthy of love and respect. And through all the hardships, Lily never stopped believing in the goodness of the world, always ready to fight for a brighter future. The kingdom was abuzz with excitement as the royal court announced a grand competition to find a wife for Prince Tristan. All the eligible young women in the kingdom were invited to showcase their talents, and the winner would earn the prince's hand in marriage. It was a huge event, one that could change a girl's life forever. For many, it was a dream come true. Lady Morgana saw this as her golden opportunity. She was determined to see her daughter, Arabella, chosen as the prince's bride, securing her place as the future queen. Arabella was beautiful and graceful, and Lady Morgana was sure she would win the competition. However, there was one problem: Lily. Lily, her stepdaughter, was also of marriageable age, and Lady Morgana knew that the prince might be drawn to her kind nature and beauty. She couldn't let that happen. Lady Morgana quickly put her plan into motion. She ordered Lily to stay locked away in the castle and work as a servant, cleaning and doing menial tasks while Arabella prepared for the competition. "You will not take part in this competition," Lady Morgana declared coldly. "Your place is to serve, not to compete." Lily was crushed, but she knew there was no way she could defy her stepmother's orders. Lady Morgana made sure Lily stayed busy with chores and never left the servant quarters. She wanted to make sure that Lily wouldn't have a chance to show the prince what she was truly like. Meanwhile, Arabella spent her time practicing her talents, confident that she would be the one to win. The entire castle buzzed with excitement as the competition drew near, but Lily remained locked away, hidden from the royal event that was unfolding. Deep down, she couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness. She wanted to be part of it, to show the prince who she really was, but her stepmother's cruelty had shut her out. Lady Morgana, however, was pleased with how things were going. She believed her plan was foolproof. Arabella would be the star of the competition, and Lily would remain in the background, just where her stepmother wanted her to be. Lady Morgana felt confident that the prince would never notice Lily, and Arabella would soon be engaged to the prince, fulfilling her dreams. Little did she know, this plan would not go as smoothly as she expected. Lily's heart ached as she watched the preparations for the royal competition from behind the closed doors of the servant quarters. She longed to join in, to show everyone who she truly was, but her stepmother's cruel grip kept her locked away. However, Lily's spirit was not easily broken. Deep down, she knew she couldn't give up on her dreams. She wanted a chance to be seen, to find love and happiness. One evening, as she worked quietly, an unexpected ally appeared. It was the kingdom's wise old healer, a kind woman who had watched over Lily since she was a little girl. She had always seen the goodness in Lily, and she could not stand by and watch her suffer any longer. The healer had magical powers, a secret she kept hidden from most of the world. She gently approached Lily, her eyes filled with kindness and understanding. "I cannot stand to see you in pain any longer, dear one," the healer whispered. "You deserve a chance to shine. I will help you enter the competition." With a wave of her hand, the healer gave Lily a beautiful gown, much like the ones worn by the other young women in the kingdom. She also gave her a delicate mask to cover her identity, knowing that Lady Morgana would stop at nothing to keep Lily away from the prince. With the help of the healer's magic, Lily transformed into someone unrecognizable to everyone, except for her own kind heart. Lily was filled with both excitement and fear as she left the castle, sneaking out under the cover of night. She made her way to the royal event, her heart pounding with anticipation. When she arrived, the grand hall was filled with music, laughter, and the most beautiful young women in the kingdom. But it was Lily, disguised in her new clothes and mask, who caught the prince's attention the moment she entered. Prince Tristan was standing near the grand entrance, greeting guests, when his eyes were drawn to her. There was something different about this woman, something graceful, yet humble. She carried herself with a kindness that seemed to shine brighter than the jewels adorning the other contestants. His curiosity was piqued. Who was she? Why did she seem so familiar, yet so mysterious? Lily felt a rush of emotions as she stepped into the room. The prince's gaze lingered on her for a moment, and for the first time in her life, Lily felt truly seen. She danced and spoke with others, but her heart was focused on the prince. As the night wore on, she caught glimpses of his smile and noticed how he seemed drawn to her. Despite the mask and the disguise, there was something about Lily's kindness and beauty that enchanted Prince Tristan. He didn't know her true identity, but he couldn't help but feel an inexplicable connection. He found himself wondering who this mysterious woman was, and why he felt so drawn to her. Little did he know, the woman he was so intrigued by was none other than the princess he had been searching for all along. As the royal competition continued, Lady Morgana grew more desperate. She watched from the sidelines as Lily, still disguised, captured the prince's attention with her grace and charm. The more the prince noticed her, the more Lady Morgana feared that her own plans for Arabella would be ruined. Determined not to lose, she began to spread lies about Lily, hoping to destroy her reputation and keep the prince away. Lady Morgana went to the royal court and whispered false stories into the ears of those who would listen. She told everyone that Lily was not really a princess at all, but rather the daughter of a commoner, unworthy of the prince's affections. She claimed that Lily had been raised in poverty and was only pretending to be royal. With each word she spoke, the lies grew, making Lily out to be a fraud. Lady Morgana painted a picture of Lily as someone deceitful and untrustworthy, and many people in the court began to believe her. Arabella, encouraged by her mother's scheming, joined in the deception. She told anyone who would listen that Lily was nothing more than a servant, not a true princess at all. She tried to paint herself as the only one who truly deserved the prince, reinforcing the idea that Lily was not worthy of the royal attention. Meanwhile, Lily remained unaware of her stepmother's actions. She focused all her energy on the competition, hoping to make a good impression on Prince Tristan. She felt confident in her own abilities and in the kindness she had shown throughout the event. Lily had always believed that being true to herself would be enough. She was unaware of the shadow that Lady Morgana was casting over her, and she was determined not to let anything distract her from her chance at happiness. As the days went by, the rumors spread like wildfire. The court was buzzing with gossip about Lily's supposed background, and the prince began to hear whispers of her alleged deceit. He was confused, unsure of what to believe. He had been so drawn to the mysterious woman who had captured his heart, but now doubts began to creep into his mind. Lily continued to dance and laugh at the royal event, never suspecting that her stepmother's lies were slowly eroding her chances with the prince. She remained focused on making a real connection, believing that her kindness and sincerity would win him over. Little did she know that the road to true love was about to become much harder, and the battle for her heart would soon turn into a fight for the truth. As the competition went on, Prince Tristan couldn't help but be drawn to Lily. There was something about her that felt different from the other contestants. Her kindness, her grace, and the way she spoke to others made him feel a connection he couldn't explain. He found himself thinking about her constantly, wondering who she truly was. But then, as Lady Morgana's accusations against Lily spread, doubts began to creep into his mind. At first, Tristan tried to ignore the rumors. He had always been a kind and trusting person, but something didn't sit right with him. Lady Morgana had been so certain that Lily was unworthy of the prince, but Tristan couldn't believe it. How could someone so kind and graceful be a fraud? The more he thought about it, the more he realized that there was something strange about Lady Morgana's accusations. They felt like they were coming from a place of jealousy rather than truth. Tristan couldn't shake the feeling that Lady Morgana was hiding something. He had always trusted her judgment, but now he began to question her motives. Why would she go to such lengths to destroy Lily's reputation? What was she trying to protect? And why was she so determined to keep the prince away from Lily? The more Tristan thought about it, the more convinced he became that Lady Morgana's words might not be as truthful as they seemed. Determined to uncover the truth, Tristan decided to take matters into his own hands. He began to secretly follow Lily, watching her from afar to learn more about her life and character. He observed how she treated the servants with kindness, always ready to lend a helping hand or offer a smile. He saw how she never complained about the hard work she was forced to do, and how she always stayed humble despite her beauty. The more Tristan watched Lily, the more he was convinced that she was not the deceitful person Lady Morgana had painted her to be. Lily was real, genuine in her kindness and strength. She faced the world with a quiet dignity, never asking for anything in return. Tristan admired her even more, and his feelings for her deepened. One evening, after following her for hours, Tristan finally approached Lily when she was alone in the garden. He had seen enough to know that she was someone worth knowing, someone who deserved to be loved for who she truly was. But before he could speak, he hesitated. He needed to know more, to understand the truth about Lily and what had really been happening behind the scenes. As he stood there, watching her, he made a silent vow to get to the bottom of Lady Morgana's lies. He wouldn't let her dark schemes ruin Lily's chance at happiness, not when he knew, deep in his heart, that she was the one he had been searching for all along. The more Prince Tristan learned about Lily, the more he realized that Lady Morgana's accusations were nothing but lies. He had seen her kindness with his own eyes, and it became clear to him that the woman he had been so drawn to could never be the deceitful person Lady Morgana made her out to be. Determined to uncover the truth and put an end to the lies, Tristan decided it was time to confront Lady Morgana. One afternoon, in front of the entire court, Prince Tristan stood tall, his voice steady but filled with determination. "Lady Morgana," he began, his eyes locked onto hers. "I have seen enough. It's time the kingdom learned the truth." The room fell silent as everyone turned to listen. Lady Morgana, sensing trouble, tried to keep her composure, but her hands trembled. She had always been so confident in her manipulations, but now she could feel the weight of Tristan's words bearing down on her. Tristan continued, his voice firm as he revealed the full extent of Lady Morgana's lies. "You have slandered Princess Lily, spreading false stories about her background, claiming she is unworthy of the prince's love. But all your words were nothing but a twisted web of deceit to make sure your daughter, Arabella, would be the one chosen." Gasps filled the room as the truth came to light. Lady Morgana had spent months spreading lies, using her power to manipulate everyone around her. She had tried to destroy Lily's reputation just to secure a future for Arabella, even though she knew nothing about Lily's true heart. Tristan turned to the court and addressed them directly. "Lily has shown nothing but kindness, strength, and grace. She has earned the admiration of this kingdom not through deceit, but through her pure heart." As the prince spoke, the truth about Lily's actions was laid bare. Her selflessness, her compassion toward others, and her unwavering hope despite the cruelty she had faced were now clear to everyone. The court, which had once been swayed by Lady Morgana's lies, now saw the real Lily, a princess who deserved their respect and admiration. Lily stood quietly by the prince, her heart racing. She had never expected this moment, never dreamed that the truth would come out like this. But now, as she looked around at the faces of the court, she could see that they saw her for who she truly was. She felt a wave of relief and hope wash over her. Lady Morgana, unable to deny the truth any longer, stood in silence, her face a mask of anger and shame. Arabella, too, remained silent, realizing that their plans had crumbled in the face of honesty and justice. The prince turned back to Lily, a soft smile tugging at his lips. "I know now that you are the one I've been looking for all along. not just a princess by title, but a queen in heart. With those words, the prince's admiration for Lily became clear to everyone in the kingdom, and Lily's place in the royal court was secure. The kingdom began to see her as the true princess she had always been, and the truth had triumphed over the darkness of deceit. The grand hall was filled with anticipation as Prince Tristan stepped forward, his gaze fixed on Lily. The court was still buzzing from the dramatic reveal of Lady Morgana's lies, and all eyes were now on the prince. With his heart full of emotion, Tristan took a deep breath and addressed the crowd. "People of the kingdom," he began, his voice strong and clear, "I have heard many stories, but none of them compare to the truth I now know in my heart. I have seen Princess Lily's kindness, her strength, and her true heart. She is not the woman the wicked Lady Morgana tried to make her out to be. Lily is the one I have always desired, the one who holds my heart." The room fell silent for a moment as the weight of his words sank in. Then, as if a wave of relief had washed over the crowd, murmurs of agreement and joy rippled through the royal hall. The prince had made his choice. He was standing before them, not as a ruler seeking the approval of his court, but as a man who had found the love of his life. Lady Morgana stood there, seething with anger. Arabella, her face red with humiliation, clenched her fists in frustration. They had tried to manipulate the situation for so long, but now their plans were falling apart. The prince had rejected their lies, choosing the woman they had worked so hard to destroy. Prince Tristan turned to Lily, his eyes filled with tenderness. "Lily," he said softly, stepping toward her, "I know I can't undo the pain you've suffered at the hands of my family. But I want you to know that from this moment on, I choose you, not for your title, not for your beauty, but for who you are. You have shown me the true meaning of love, and I cannot imagine my future without you by my side." Lily's heart raced as she looked into his eyes. She had never imagined this moment would come, let alone in front of so many people. Her emotions swirled, relief, joy, disbelief, and she had to fight to keep her composure. For so long, she had been kept in the shadows, hidden away by her stepmother's cruelty. Now, here she stood, standing beside the man who had seen her for who she truly was. The prince reached out, gently taking her hand in his. "Lily, will you marry me? Will you be my queen?" Tears filled Lily's eyes as she gazed up at him. This was everything she had ever dreamed of, and yet it felt like a dream she could hardly believe was real. For a moment, she couldn't speak. But then, with a voice full of emotion, she whispered, "Yes, yes, I will marry you." The crowd erupted into cheers as the prince pulled her close, lifting her hand in the air. The air was thick with joy and excitement as the people of the kingdom celebrated the union of their future king and queen. Lady Morgana and Arabella were left standing in stunned silence, their plans ruined, while Lily and Prince Tristan embraced in front of the cheering crowd. In that moment, Lily knew that her life had changed forever. The love and happiness she had longed for were finally within her reach, and with Tristan by her side, she was ready to step into the future as his true love and future queen. The kingdom was alive with celebration. Every street, every corner, and every home was decorated with colourful banners, flowers, and lights. People from far and wide gathered to celebrate the grand wedding of Prince Tristan and Lily. The air was filled with music, laughter, and the joyous chatter of the people, who couldn't stop talking about how love and justice had triumphed over evil. The royal palace had never looked more beautiful. The grand hall was transformed into a magical space filled with golden chandeliers, fragrant roses, and shimmering decorations. As Lily walked down the aisle, dressed in a stunning gown that sparkled like the stars, the crowd gasped. She looked like a true queen, radiant, confident, and filled with happiness. Prince Tristan stood at the end of the aisle, his eyes fixed on her, his heart full of love and pride. The ceremony was perfect. The prince and Lily exchanged vows that spoke of love, loyalty, and a promise to always stand by each other. As they were pronounced husband and wife, the crowd erupted into cheers, clapping and cheering for their new king and queen. The sound of trumpets filled the air as the couple walked back down the aisle, hand in hand, smiling at the crowd. Meanwhile, Lady Morgana and Arabella were nowhere to be seen. Their wicked schemes had been exposed, and their punishment was swift. The king ordered that they be exiled from the kingdom for their treachery. No one mourned their departure, and many saw it as a fitting end for the trouble they had caused. Their absence felt like a weight lifted from the kingdom, and people were relieved to see justice served. As the celebrations continued, Lily found herself embraced by the people of the kingdom. They adored her for her kindness, courage, and the way she had faced adversity with grace. Children gathered around her, and the elderly blessed her, calling her a queen with a heart as pure as gold. For the first time in her life, Lily felt truly loved and accepted, not just by the prince, but by an entire kingdom. The night ended with a grand feast in the palace courtyard. Long tables were filled with delicious food, and everyone, from nobles to commoners, was invited to join in the celebration. There was dancing, singing, and endless toasts to the happy couple. The prince and Lily danced under the stars, surrounded by the people who had come to celebrate their love. As Lily looked around, she couldn't help but feel overwhelmed with gratitude. She had faced so much pain and cruelty, but now she was standing at the heart of a kingdom that celebrated her for who she was. With Tristan by her side, she knew she had found her place, her family, and her future. The kingdom had not just gained a new queen, it had gained hope, love, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. Prince Tristan and Queen Lily's marriage marked the beginning of a golden era for the kingdom. Together, they ruled with kindness and wisdom, always putting the needs of their people first. Under their guidance, the kingdom flourished. The fields yielded abundant harvests, trade expanded, and every corner of the land buzzed with prosperity and happiness. The people adored their new queen, who always found time to listen to their concerns and help them, no matter how small the matter. Lily's past struggles shaped her into a compassionate ruler. She understood pain and hardship, and used her position to ensure no one else had to suffer as she once had. She established schools for children, opened shelters for the poor, and made sure justice was fair and swift. Tristan, inspired by her heart, worked tirelessly alongside her, ensuring that their kingdom remained peaceful and strong. Together, they were not just rulers, they were symbols of hope and goodness. In time, their family grew. The palace was filled with the laughter of their children, who were raised with the same values of love and fairness. Lily and Tristan ensured that their children learned the importance of humility and kindness, teaching them to see every person in the kingdom as equal and valuable. The sight of the royal family walking among the people, sharing their joys and sorrows, became a common and cherished one. The pain of the past seemed like a distant memory. Lady Morgana and Arabella's names were forgotten, their cruel deeds fading into history. Instead, stories of Lily's courage and resilience were passed down through generations. Children grew up hearing tales of the kind queen who triumphed over evil, and Lily became a symbol of strength and inspiration for many. One evening, as the sun set over the peaceful kingdom, Lily and Tristan stood on the palace balcony, looking out at their land. The fields were golden, the rivers sparkled, and the air was filled with the songs of birds and the laughter of their people. Tristan took Lily's hand and smiled. "We've come a long way," he said softly, his voice filled with pride and love. Lily nodded, her eyes shining with gratitude. "We have. And I wouldn't change a single moment of it. Every challenge brought us here, to this life, to this love." They stood in silence for a moment, the warmth of the sunset wrapping around them. Behind them, their children played in the hall, their laughter echoing through the palace. It was a sound that filled Lily's heart with peace. She had found her happy ending, not in the crown or the palace, but in the love she shared with Tristan and the family they had built together. The kingdom thrived, not just because of its wealth or power, but because of the love and goodness that ruled it. And so, Lily and Tristan's story became a timeless reminder that even in the face of darkness, love, courage, and kindness can create a happily ever after.